But does anybody know what causes the fire in the kitchen?
Grease.
Grease, yeah. And in food, you know, extra food on an oven. Grease dripping in the oven over time, over years.
Basic grease on the stove. And
Yes.
turning it on and then walking out of the kitchen.
Yes. Yeah. So does anybody know what to do if they have a grease fire?
Put a lid on it.
Put a
Do
lid
not
on
all water on the grease fire. Maybe salt or.
Well, baking soda works great, and all that is nice. If
Salt is not.
salt can do it.
But there's no oxygen to it anymore.
Right. But now if you're brave and you think you can put a lid on it, do that. You know. But I don't know about you. I'm a little scared sometimes if I don't have a glove on and I'm putting something on a fire. You know. So, but if you can, that's great. If you can, cover it. What do you not want to do?
Throw water on it.
No water on it, because what that does is just spread it.
I grabbed the frying pan and threw it into the sink, and it was exactly wrong thing to do.
Well, that's doubly wrong.
And I burned my eye.
Yeah. And yeah, because the water will cause it to flash, and what I mean is the water will turn to steam instantly, and it will explode the fire in two different areas. Okay, on you, your house, you know. So don't do that. But definitely never pick it up and carry it outside the house or into your sink, because it's hot, it's burning, and you will spill it, and you will spill it on yourself. And I hate to say it, I have seen so many people burn themselves so bad with that way. But one thing we didn't mention, if it is on fire, yes, it is on fire, but turn off the heat underneath, you know, the stove. Turn that off, because that alone could actually put it out. Okay, so cover it, salt, soda, other things, no water. You know, if you got a fire extinguisher, that's good too. Like this. Okay.
I don't know why that did that fire.
But what did I say that fire really likes the most?
Then,
It likes a mess. Okay? And I'm not saying this time of year is a mess, but people accumulate a lot of paper, you know, inside their house during this time of year. And that is fuel, that is food for the fire, and we don't want to do that. But I had this book, Fire Safety Checklist, and I don't know if anybody's interested. And I know it says for older adults, but that means nothing, okay? Because we're all going to be old one day. And believe me, what's good for an older person is good for us. We should think like we want to live longer and easier. So, but I'm just going to put a few out here. If you're interested, you know, we can get some more. But anyway, they have checklists, and it's just good stuff to read. And it's pretty simple.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But now there's some other things in the house that you can do. Does anybody know what they can do that help prevent fires in the house besides cleaning? Well,
Don't put stuff against the wall.
yeah. Well, there's other stuff too besides keeping it clean, which is always good. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. First of all, smoke detectors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And there are a few different types of smoke detectors. Okay. Some of them have batteries. Some of them plug into like an outlet like this. Okay. You still should check to make sure that they work twice a year at least. Okay. And if you have to put a new battery in, do that. It only someone will give you a battery, you know, if you need one. But the other thing is, your doors. Keep the doors in your house closed, okay? When you go away, because if there is a fire, that door is preventing air from going to that fire, okay? It's a bad day when all the doors in the house are open and a fire starts, because then it just goes right through, okay? You mentioned electrical cords. This cord right here, this electrical cord, you can see you can put a lot of plugs on it, right? And that's very convenient. But you don't want to take another one of these cords and stick it into here, and then another one of these cords and stick it into there, because now you have way too much of an electrical load. It'll actually melt this, or it may actually melt this, and that will cause a fire. And we see people do that all the time. One extension cord. Don't ever do two. Okay? And if your wires are being bent, you know, like really tight, or if people are always walking on them, okay? Or I don't know, kids are roller skating and they roller skate over them, that hurts this thing, this wire, and it becomes brittle, and it will actually start to smoke. It'll melt and it'll turn into a fire, okay? So if it looks like it's getting a little warm, or if when you plug in your light it goes okay? If that happens, you need to have someone look at it, fix it, or you need to just throw it away, okay? Because it will turn into a fire. Does that make sense to everybody? And I know it's fun to have old things, but sometimes old things are dangerous, okay? Fire extinguisher. Now this is a pretty good size one for this building, okay? You may have a smaller one in your house, okay? That's great. But when you use a fire extinguisher, you have to ask yourself, am I trying to put out the fire, or am I trying to get away? Because that fire could be between you and the door. You can't put it out, but maybe you can make a hole in it to go through. Or would you like to rescue your children, if you have any? You know, you may not be able to put out the big fire, but maybe you can make a hole to get to your children, to save them, okay? If I lived at home and I had a fire, I would not attempt to think I could put out a whole house fire. Because we, on the fire trucks, we come in with big hoses, lots of water, we'll put it out. But you need to think about, can you really put it out, or are you just trying to get out? Okay, all this does is help you get out of the house, okay? Now, a little stove fire, like a little grease fire, this would work, okay? But if you've got a big room on fire, there's no need to put it out if it's not going to help you get out, okay? Your number one thing is to get yourself and your loved ones out of the house, okay? And like I said, the house is your domain. You rule it. You know, I know in my house, my wife does. So, but anyway, does everybody know how to operate one of these? Okay. Well, I will show you some.
I'm gonna wear out my batteries. Put this on the low.
What, 20 minutes?
This?
No, not the whole 20 minutes.
Okay. So there's a pin right here. You see this pin? You pull it out. And I don't know if everybody sees it, but there's a little knob right in there. Okay? That pin keeps that knob happy. Okay? But now I can push it down. Once the pin is gone, I can push it down and I can spray the fire, okay? There's a little rule we have, it's called PASS. It's called PASS, okay? It means point, or pull this. Number one, pull, aim. Do you know where you aim? No, you don't aim at aim, at the fire. Right. I'm going to use you as an example. You are the fire. Are we going to aim right here? No. We're going to aim in front of the fire, on the ground. Because when it hits the ground, it's going to spread, okay? And it will cover it that way. If I aim up here, all I did was put out her head. and the fire is still burning down there. Okay? So you want to pull, that's the P. Aim, that's the P. Okay? Squeeze. Now squeeze. Okay? Squeeze. And don't stop squeezing. Okay? Squeeze, and then what they call sweep. Not like this. Okay? But like this. Okay? You don't have to make a
Can I ask a question about aim? I didn't know that you aimed at the bottom, but what if it was a stovetop fire? You aimed at the top. Would I aim at the pan that was burning that time?
You do, but aim at the nearest part of the pan to you.
Okay.
Or-
Say a frying pan and the handle is sticking out this way, and the fire is inside the large skillet.
Right.
Where do I aim?
If your pan is right here, what you would want to do is aim right at the edge of it right here, but you want to sweep at the same time. And it'll be very quick with a pan, because it's small. And you can just go, but the thing is, that fire, as soon as you put it out, it's going to flash back up into another fire. And the reason why is because, remember, the stove has to be off. If you don't turn the stove off, you put it out, it goes up. Put it out, it goes up. Turn the stove off, or somehow move it to this other eye, you know. But you got to be careful. You have to use your best judgment at that time.
But a larger home fire, say that came from the fireplace, if something, like we have an open fireplace, and it has a hearth, but if something's in front of the hearth and the spark comes out and sets it afire.
Still, aim between you and the fire. Aim on the ground and up.
I have one of those fire extinguishers, but I've never ever used it, so this is very helpful.
Well, does everybody remember what's the rule for